Hey everyone, I just wanted to share a little bit of happiness from my garden today, and I also wanted to talk a little bit about some heat and drought tolerant plants. All of these plants do really well in containers as well, and this is my lemon and cinnamon basil plants. Both make a really good tea and are amazingly heat tolerant. I do water these well, but it gets 100 plus degrees here in Central Texas. The day of filming this, and the high is 106 with a heat index of 112 degrees, and these plants are clearly thriving really well. This is some more lemon basil. These are two smaller plants that I had gotten a little bit of a late start on, but they're still really good, doing really well despite all of the heat that we're having. Very intense heat. So here is another heat and drought tolerant plant that also does well in containers. As you can see, it's in a 18-gallon tote. Lemon basil has a lot of medicinal properties, as well as it just smells amazing and makes a really good tea. I just cut this plant back pretty heavily the other day, so that's why it's looking a little bit bare, but it's still really prolific even in all this heat. This heat is crazy, you guys. So here's some sage. I have all my sage plants growing in my raised beds underneath my tomatoes. So they are a little small, I think because they're getting a lot of shade, but they're still thriving. They are really drought tolerant. They are being watered well, but they do tolerate a little bit of drought. And they have survived this whole time in all this heat. Here's my tomatoes. They are drying up a little bit, but I'm still giving, I got probably about a 10 to 15 pound harvest today. So I do have a short out talking about 3 kind of unique things that I'm doing to keep my tomatoes alive in this heat. So be on the lookout for that. Another heat tolerant and drought tolerant plant is basil. Now basil, you do have to keep watered pretty well. But it is one of those plants that does pretty well in the heat, but this basil right here does get a lot of shade. So if it's really hot in your area, just give it a lot of shade and it should do just fine. And here's some summer savory that is doing really well. I have it hooked up to drip, but it is also a drought tolerant and very heat tolerant plant. It smells amazing and I can't wait to use some of this in my cooking. Comment below if you've ever grown savory. I have never grown it and it smells amazing. It is also my first time growing this toothache plant. When you chew on those little yellow flowers there, it numbs your mouth. The leaves numb your mouth too, and it's a very interesting sensation. I tried it with my 11-year-old and we had a really good time with that. As you can see, I just started pruning some of the bad leaves off a little bit, but this plant can handle a little bit of a drought, maybe not as well as some of the other ones that I've mentioned here, but it is definitely worth mentioning. I do have it hooked up to drip, and it's just been a fun little plant. Here's my yarrow. It's also not doing quite as good as some of my other plants, but it's still alive, and I'm really hoping that I can keep it alive until fall, and I hope that it blooms, because this plant has a lot of really good medicinal properties. So I'm really excited for this one, and like I said, I hope I can keep it alive until the fall. Another one that I'm really excited about, and it's doing really pretty good in this 5-gallon bucket, is chocolate mint. This stuff smells so good. I know I've probably said that about everything, but it literally smells like mint chocolate. It's so cool. I love this plant so much. I tried to grow some last year, and I don't know what happened, but this year it's doing a lot better, and I've already cut this back a couple of times and got some dried up, and I'm hoping to make some tea out of it because, oh my gosh, it is decadent. It is so good. I love this plant so much. I'm really excited that it's doing well. And these last 2 in this red container are the only 2 plants that I don't have hooked up to my drip system. This is lavender that I started from seed, and oregano, and I've got these 2 in this same container. And they could be doing better, but they're still alive, so I'm kind of hoping that some of these do a little bit better in the fall. But these are heat and drought tolerant plants, so they are alive, and as long as they continue to stay alive throughout the season, when it starts to cool down, I should get a decent harvest, and I'll probably overwinter that lavender plant there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe, like this video, comment down below what you're growing in all this crazy weather. Let me know. See you in the comment section.